Hey guys and gals, I got another one for you today. Guess I lied when I said I wasn't going to do another one about map positioning. Just playing in my T95 on Panama in counter battle, and it infuriates me on this map when people go down the zero line when they're on my team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't need to have anyone go down there, but I'm going to show you what happens when majority of the enemy team goes down the zero line. So they got 2 artillery. That's really my biggest thing that I'm worried about. The only other thing would be is if my team decided to go down the zero line, and then I'd have nobody to cover my back. And I'd like somebody to raise their hand and tell me how they think the zero line is more important than the field up here. The funny thing is Panama is a variant of Westfield, and this is called Westfield because the West Field is the most important choke to win. Now don't get me wrong, if you have like a platoon of medium tanks, you can bull rush down the zero line and then kill the 3 tanks that are there, get behind the enemy team, but you gotta do it fast enough before your team dies. Because if they take these hills up here, then they can just have a full defense coming off the ridge. They have the high ground. So, see this IS, I am by no means afraid of him penning me at all, but he does spot me for arty, which makes me nervous. So I put 1 shell into his turret. I have all my tanks behind me, so I'm fully confident. I don't even care that this scout is sitting over here, this T49. Looks like he's going to look for a shot on me. So by me pushing forward, it allows my Challenger to push up and my other tanks to push up. That T49 doesn't even get a shot in me. This M103 wasn't paying attention to me. I think he was looking down his barrel, and then he panicked when he seen me come around. Track him in place, and he's going to be shut down pretty quick. You can see that's all they sent up here. Okay, so how are they supposed to win 4 tanks down? If they just push the zero line and get behind us, they're going to get spotted by our snipers on G4. And if they manage to kill those snipers, they then have to climb a hill, get us spotted. We're still behind 1 more hill for cover, and they have to work through a field to get to us. Alright, so it's very unexciting stuff. I'm in a T95. It's boring. I was hoping that we'd have a big brawl up here, but unfortunately we don't. So when it comes to map positioning, figure out the chokes and go to them. What's the worst that can happen? You lose. You're going to lose anyways if you give up the choke. Majority of these chokes in the maps are places on the map that can be not only control majority of the map, but it's also defensible with an easy route back to the base. So if they just jump on the cap, we just have to make this drive right across this field, and potentially they could be spotting me right now. However, with our tank destroyers in position, I was pretty confident that wasn't going to happen. The Patton drives down into the bottom a little too late. I mean, it's 11-4 already. Probably the only reason we had some tanks that died is the initial push to get behind their snipers, and these scrubs that were in F1 got some shots off on them. So I shut the KV-3 down, and really I'm not looking forward to driving up that other cliff, so I'm just going to go on cap. And somebody put a rock there behind that bush, so I ran into it, and I'm just going to sit on cap. Our scout goes up, they just have 1 Comet left. And that is game over. So if you don't go to the choke, worst that can happen, you get 15-4 and your team loses. By no means did I have a significant game here. However, when we look at stats, you know, they're kind of watered down. It's hard to get really good stats in a T95 when the enemy team doesn't send anyone to the choke. They also had a T95 which chose not to come up there, probably because we had artillery. People just shy away from fighting if artillery's in the game. Let me just run to that endgame stats. I did take third. Really, you can see I did assisted damage. That was me tracking M103 and probably doing some spotting damage for Artie as well. Their Artie had the most damage on their team. Their ISU 130 was hiding in G1, so along with the KV3 and their ISU 152. So potentially 4 of their kills came off people that were way far in the back that really couldn't make an impact until the rest of their team was dead. Let's see, what their T95 do? 0. So he chose to try to snipe in his T95 and he didn't do any damage. Whereas I was pushing the front line with mine and I ended up getting 2,000. And I guess that's really all I got for you guys. And I promise I won't do any more map positioning on what I wish I knew when I started tanking. But I just had to share that one because it's so infuriating when people go down the 0 line and they just sit there until the team's dead. Alright, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.